Alright, so can you tell me a little bit about your experience with the Polling Place project, where you took pictures and like what election it was for and what you thought about it?
Sure. The pictures I took were back in, it was in the spring, so it was for the primaries, and I did at Matthews Arena, right on Mass Ave, it's right by Mass Ave. That was where I voted, so it was very convenient. I did it first thing in the morning because I had to work that day, so I went really early. I think it was close to, right when they opened, so it must have been around 8 o'clock. And I just took pictures from the outside, so I just got the signs for the local elections and the major election, the candidates, and yeah, and then I just went, and it was really easy to upload. It was a very basic system. It was, the New York Times did really well, where you just, it's from your computer, you just upload a file, and then you just fill out the your information and all your things like that. And yeah, it was really, I really enjoyed looking at the photos of the other people uploaded, more so than taking the pictures myself, just because it was nice to see. It was just something you don't usually see, polling places of other, where other people vote. So yeah, I thought it was a good project.
Do you think that the role of citizen journalism will change due to projects like the New York Times Polling Place project, and how might it affect future elections and the coverage, not only by the mainstream media, but by ordinary citizens?
I think the Polling Place project sort of opens not even just other newspapers to the idea of citizen journalism, but citizens themselves. They see these projects and they're interested, and so now they're like, well, for the election I took photos, maybe I can take photos for this, or do this kind of, it just opens up a door for more citizen journalism, I feel. And it's going to be interesting to see in 4 years, during the next presidential election, how much bigger it gets, if it gets bigger, or if people just aren't interested in being citizen journalists. So I think it'll be very interesting to see what happens.
Could you comment a little bit on the New York Times Polling Place project, and in general how citizen journalism has changed or in the future will change the coverage of elections? And do you think this is a negative or positive effect on the future of journalism?
I think the New York Times Polling Place is an interesting idea. Anything that encourages the citizenry to become involved with news is a good thing. I don't see it as earth-shattering. It seems more like a cute idea, perhaps bordering even on gimmickry. Again, if it gets people thinking about news, if it gets people sharing stories, sharing interesting photos, then it's not a bad thing. It is what it is. I would perhaps, if I were directing this to the New York Times, I would perhaps say revisit that project, but put a little more, put some teeth into it, and maybe have people writing stories or sharing news stories, something with a little more substance than, an interesting photo. I don't see the enormous value to that. In terms of the citizen bloggers and journalism, that is the topic of the moment in newsrooms across the country, it's a mixed bag. On one hand, the genie is out of the bottle. It's not going away. People are using digital technologies to comment on the news and to share stories, etc., and which is a good thing. I think digital media came of age in terms of citizen journalists with the devastating tsunami of several winters ago. I think that was to blogging what the JFK assassination was to broadcast news television. So we have this citizenry involved with writing their own stories, etc. And it's largely a mishmash in that who are these people writing these stories? I think you probably have some who are individuals who are good writers, who understand the basic tenets of journalism, and they are contributing to the news cycle. On the other hand, though, very few of these people have the background and understanding of true journalists. To become a true journalist requires years and years of work and infiltration and practice. I would dare say most of these citizen journalists, they don't understand how a bill goes through Congress. They don't understand the complexities of the healthcare crisis or the workings of the space shuttle. These are issues that professional journalists skilled in particular areas cover. So the self-anointed journalists out there aren't bringing much true reporting to the table. And in that sense, it can do some harm as well, because you can have a misrepresentation of stories, which is certainly a problem. But on the plus side, though, they serve as a watchdog of the Fourth Estate. I believe bloggers, well, this is a now well-known example, but bloggers were certainly responsible for shining a light on 60 Minutes 2, the television show's malfeasance in handling President Bush's National Guard service. So there have been cases where the citizenry has done the right thing and corrected the mainstream press. I think it's a healthy thing to have these people overseeing the press. The press certainly cannot always be trusted to police itself. So that's where we're at. In terms of what the future holds, I think we're going to see an amalgamation of citizen journalism with mainstream journalism. And I think that New York Times polling place, as harmless as it might be, is an indication of where we're heading. The desire for individuals to report the news and share their stories and pictures and opinions, that's not going away. And nor is mainstream journalism going away. So I believe the new model is going to be a melding of the two, where you have both sides of the equation contributing to stories.